Welcome to this edition of Go Vote Omaha, presented by the League of Women Voters Greater Omaha. The League is a nonpartisan organization and does not endorse political candidates or parties. The League does, however, take positions on issues. Our purpose is to empower voters and defend democracy. Go Vote Omaha primarily focuses on policy issues, and as a result of our discussions, we hope you will feel ready to make informed decisions at election time. I'm Cindy Glissman, co-president of the League. On tonight's show, we are going to talk about our recent May primary voter turnout and how to prepare for the general election on November 8. Joining us today is Guadalupe Esquivel from the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table. Guadalupe is Communications and Policy Manager at the table. The table works with over 70 nonprofits statewide to increase voting and build an engaged Nebraska. Guadalupe, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Cindy.
Yes. So let's jump in and first of all, learn about the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table. I just mentioned there are 70 members of the table. Can you tell us who these members are and why they would want to join the table?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Nebraska Table is a statewide, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, and we are dedicated to supporting nonprofit organizations and give them the resources they need so that they can best interact with their communities. Some larger organizations that are members of ours include the ACLU of Nebraska, Nebraska Appleseed, Civic Nebraska, and some local Omaha organizations include Black Votes Matter, No More Empty Pots, the Union for Contemporary Art. So something that we really dedicate ourselves to is ensuring that these organizations are able to build their internal capacity. We do this by providing expert support across a range of topics, such as communications, data, organizing, as well as providing grant funding as well, so that these organizations can make their work a reality. We are also able to really emphasize the collaboration aspect of our nonprofit network. I think that is a really great thing that we're able to do, is kind of be this central hub where we're able to bring together like-minded organizations and help them work together and grow something really beautiful together and reach out to their respective communities.
Wow, so how would I collaborate? The League is a member of the table, and I have to tell you, it has made the League a better organization, a better nonprofit. Tell us the ways how you bring these organizations together.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely love collaborating with the League of Omaha. Yeah, we have a lot of groups that work together, such as our Get Out the Vote coalitions, that together are able to hold canvassing events, phone bank, text bank to reach out to voters, as well as work on messaging together to be able to best reach out to their respective communities.
So it sounds like you have a lot of experts within your organization. Can you tell us about some of the other people who work at the table and some of their expertise?
Yeah, absolutely. A big thing that we do is our data support. We help a lot of our nonprofits with the Voter Activation Network, which is a tool that is able to give people exact information about voters in Nebraska, how to best reach them, and be able to help canvassers and phone bankers reach out to them as well. Our data manager, Sandy, who's been on your show before, is a really valuable support system to our members. We have our organizing manager as well, Karina, who also interacts with the League quite a bit, who is able to help with amazing voter registration information and get our communities out to vote and get them the education that they need.
Excellent. And do you do any legislative advocacy for the state?
Yeah, absolutely. We've recently expanded our work into legislative advocacy. In fact, we just started a new program called Lobby School, where we are able to help nonprofit staff learn get the tools and the information they need to be better lobbyists and really create that impact at the legislative level. It's been really exciting to be able to interact with our legislators and our various nonprofit organizations through this new program. And we're excited to see it grow in the coming years.
I bet. Tell me about, this is another thing that the League has been very fortunate in having your, your expertise and your ability to help us. But tell us about some of the funding that is available to your members.
Yeah, so we're able to provide mini grants in a variety of different areas. Our nonprofit members can apply for these mini grants for specific projects that they are working on. And we kind of get to see how those programs grow in the long term. So that's been really, really great to be able to fund those and be able to see these programs get off the ground.
Nice, nice. Okay, we've always really enjoyed too, through the table, the League has learned so much about all these other organizations. Can you tell us about how you communicate and tell us and the other organizations about each other?
Yeah,
We've learned so much.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. With 70 organizations,
yes,
there's always so much information to share. Yeah, something that we are always really happy to do is be able to build that collaboration between organizations, and we do a lot of resource sharing. To be able to support our nonprofit members and get them the information they need to ensure that best practices are being followed in Nebraska and that our communities are absolutely getting the best support that they can. And we do this by really promoting a lot of the information that we have from ourselves internally at the table, from our national affiliate state voices, and just between organizations to make sure that everyone is informed about the work that is going on in the nonprofit sphere, and they can interact if they'd like.
Excellent, excellent. And then finally, again, the resources you provide are just amazing. One of our directors on our board just took a training class on security for nonprofit organizations too, so as an example. So do you have other trainings and programs that you offer to different nonprofits?
Yeah. So our members have access to on-demand, like one-on-one training with our staff, and it includes a wide variety of trainings from learning how to hold a press conference to learning how to use the voter activation network step by step. To writing a field plan for organizers. So really, whatever it is that our nonprofit members need, we are there to ensure that we are able to provide those resources and guide them through the process. I think that's really great. I think it's kind of unique as well as an organization that we are able to provide this sort of backbone support and stay there as they continue to build out their programs.
Amazing, amazing. One final program I just want to ask you about too, because again, we've profited from this wonderful program that I think was started just a couple of years ago, or I don't know, you can tell us, but Organizing School, or Organizer School.
Yes.
Can you tell us about this exciting program?
Absolutely. So I believe this was started in 2018, and Organizer School is such a beloved program. I certainly love it.
Yes, so do we.
And the League was recently a participant in our 2022
we currently are.
Organizer
Yes,
School.
yes.
So this is a program where we hire, train, and place organizers with our member organizations in order to be able to increase that organizational capacity. A lot of times organizations have so many wonderful ideas and so many great plans, but unfortunately there is just not that internal capacity to be able to make it work. So the Nebraska table is able to find these organizers, bring them into the fold, and be able to give them dedicated training across a wide variety of topics in communications, data, organizing, and build these leaders so that the community is able to look to them and feel supported by them.
Right. I just attended the graduation for the organizer training. And let me tell you, it is a comprehensive training, and these organizers are ready to go and motivated and able to carry out exactly what they're trained to do, and very energized and capable. So
absolutely, yeah. It's been so wonderful to work with the organizers, with the League organizer Jackie this year as well, and just incredible to see how big of an impact they're able to have on the communities.
It will be felt in the entire community. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah. So okay, so let's move on to a couple of voting specific. I think you've already mentioned a couple of them, but voting specific. We're going to turn to the primary, from the primary into the general election. But let's talk about voting tools and before we get into the details about the primary, let's talk about some of the specific voting tools and resources that the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table has at their disposal. I think you talked about VAN. Can you talk about some of the other, or what is, maybe explain what VAN is, explain what your people at the table, how they use it, and how they provide those resources to some of the nonprofit organizations.
Yeah. So our organization is fairly unique in that it is able to provide such comprehensive data support to our members, including with the Voter Activation Network. So that is essentially just a database where we are able to contact voters, see the different turnout rates, see overall the different demographics of people that are voting precinct by precinct, and we're able to use that for phone banking, text banking, canvassing, how to communicate with voters a little bit more. So providing this information to members and being able to give them an exact picture of what their work is doing and the impacts that it's having in their communities is really invaluable, I believe.
Exactly, especially to a smaller, medium-sized organization who would not have the resources to find that data by themselves, and so we partner with you, or use the table to pinpoint the areas where we would have the most likely impact, and then use our resources that we have to make a difference.
Definitely, yeah. This data definitely tells a story, and it's really able to just kind of determine and inform your strategy moving forward.
Exactly, right. Thank you. Okay, so let's do pivot now to the results of the May primary in Nebraska. So was the turnout what you expected? What do you think? What surprised you, didn't surprise you? Give us your opinion.
Yeah, so there was a lot of excitement leading up to this election, just in terms of projected outcomes. I believe in both the state and in Douglas County, the turnout was roughly 32%, which is very solid. I believe it was the highest in the state in a few decades, actually.
Wow. Yeah.
So definitely something to celebrate. We definitely love that. And I do think that a lot of that can be attributed to a lot of the work that nonprofits and community groups have been having to educate communities and be able to excite them and educate them and just really get them out to vote.
Excellent, great. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I heard that was the highest turnout for the state in about 30 years.
Wow,
so that's on a off year. That's or non-presidential.
Yeah,
year.
definitely.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's the thing too with midterm elections. Those are notoriously always have a little bit lower turnout than something a little bit more visible than presidential elections. But I cannot stress the importance of midterm elections enough. These are the elections that determine your day-to-day life. And not only with candidates, you look at things like ballot initiatives.
Absolutely, yes.
In fact, we have the signature collection deadline coming up soon on July 7th.
Right. Oh, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, and there's a possibility of maybe 15 ballot initiatives.
Yeah,
on the
I believe there's like 16 currently active.
Wow. Yeah. So those signatures will be turned in to the Secretary of State, or the deadline is
July 7th.
July 7th. Okay, right. And then we should learn about whether they will or will not be on the ballot in, do you know that date?
I'm not sure about that one.
I think it is September, the mid part of September, 16th maybe. So there is a lot to learn about this next election. So. Okay, so what are some of the obstacles you see in people why don't people vote or register to vote, do you think?
Yeah.
That you've seen?
Yeah, there can be many reasons why people don't vote. There are quite a few barriers that we've seen that include a lack of transportation to be able to get to the polls, or perhaps not having those hours off work to be able to go in during those open hours at the polls. Another big one is a language barrier. When that information is simply not accessible to people in a language that they understand, they can feel discouraged and just very confused.
Sure.
Another big reason is also receiving conflicting information or misinformation, which has been huge in recent years. And over time, that just really either discourages people or just completely turns them away from voting. So that is something that us and our member organizations are actively working to be able to prevent. Community education is key, so ensuring that our communities have this information, that they understand what sort of accessibility features are available to them when voting is super important. For example, early voting is always a great way to ensure that you can cast your ballot in a way that works best for you on your own time. I always recommend that people apply for their early voting ballot if they feel like they might not be able to get time off work. This also allows them to research the candidates a little bit more thoroughly ahead of time.
That's right, with maybe a ballot right in front of them.
Yeah,
Correct,
exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
And in Douglas County, you can apply for to get on the permanent vote by mail list. Right, right. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. What do you want people to know about why they should register and vote? Why is it important to vote?
Yeah, absolutely. That's always. It's always so important that you make your voice heard, especially in these midterm and local elections, because these are the things that are going to impact your day-to-day life, your children's day-to-day life. So being able to go out there and really make your voice heard is imperative. There are so many elections that get decided even by just a few hundred votes, so that margin is very, very slim. So really to be a part of something like that and get your own community and your friends, family, neighbors involved in that, you can't imagine just how much that grows and makes a huge difference.
Right, didn't we have a city council or Douglas County election that was decided by maybe 3 votes recently?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, so it really does matter, everyone's vote. Right, right. And you're right, the issues, some people think, well, it's not a presidential year, is it really that important to vote? But, minimum wage, the things that you vote on will affect your daily lives, your roads, your parks, your schools. So, yeah, it really affects day-to-day activities and lives, the things that you're going to vote on in November.
Absolutely, yeah, this is an opportunity to have a direct say in what your community is going to look like and what it'll look like for years to come. You get to see how funding is allocated, if new laws are going to be put into place.
Exactly.
So really huge opportunity that you wouldn't want to miss out on.
That is exactly right. That's right. There's so many things to find out about voting, and it is kind of intimidating. We've already thrown out a couple dates, that besides the November 8th election date, that, can be intimidating. Where can people find information about voting?
Yeah, so there are plenty of great places online to be able to find some more information. We always recommend going to vote411.org for some nonpartisan information. The League's candidate guide is always super informative and also available at the Omaha Public Libraries, so really accessible if people ever need to access it in person.
Good. Thank you for the plug.
Yeah, of course.
And it will be in Spanish in November too.
Oh, really?
It will be out in October, but yes.
Oh,
and
that's
in
wonderful.
Spanish and in English, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
It's always so important to be able to have this information available to as many community members as possible.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, we think so too.
Yeah.
We think so too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
And I always recommend also visiting the Douglas County Election Commissioner's website for exact deadlines, just exact voting information, as well as people using the Nebraska Voter Information Lookup tool. To be able to verify whether their voter registration is up to date and find their polling place as well.
Excellent. And then once you do, like if you vote by mail and you return the ballot, I think you can look on there to see if your ballot has been received.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's
can
always
track your
useful.
ballot through that as well.
Right, right. Very good, very good. Yes, good. What are the things that you think people can, or organizations, all of us can do to increase voter turnout?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with that is just community education. That's always key, and making that education as widespread as possible. That includes by increasing the languages, like you just mentioned, that are used. I'll give you an example. The Nebraska table has a voter's guide that we distribute yearly to our members, and this year we are able to make it available in 7 languages.
Oh, wow.
Which we are very excited about. That's always so important. And then just having those open conversations with your community. We recently started holding town halls in a hybrid format across a variety of communities to be able to really open up that conversation and not assume what the questions are, but let voters themselves tell us what is the information they need.
Yes, that could differ depending on where you are in the state or where you are, what age you are, or yes, absolutely. Awesome, that's great. So if people would like to learn more about Nebraska Civic Engagement Table, what would you suggest they do?
Yeah, I would really recommend people visit our website, nebraskatable.org, to be able to learn more just about our mission overall and about membership.
Right. Can you, speaking of your mission, can you summarize your vision, the table's vision?
Yeah, sure.
Without regurgitating your website. That's
a
hard question, I know.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I think our biggest goal is just ensuring that underrepresented communities are able to have the information and resources they need to make informed decisions on the issues that will impact their lives, that they are able to fully raise their voices and be able to interact with their communities year-round. That's one of our biggest goals at the table, is to be able to promote year-round civic participation and participation beyond voting as well.
Exactly. Break down barriers to participating in democracy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and which people do every day or can do every day, not just election years. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Another one of our goals is also just to continue building that leadership in those communities, providing that information and resources, and ensuring that these people they feel fully capable to go out and educate more people themselves, be able to bring community members in as trusted messengers. So we can really see a whole culture of civic engagement that is spreading.
Right, and it will spread. The more leaders and messengers, yes, that's exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Yeah, we're seeing some great things happening in our state with our community groups, nonprofit members and partners, and it's really something beautiful to see, just the energy that is spreading.
Yeah, well, I have to say that your organization definitely energizes people and communities, right. So can I ask you just some general questions about voting, just people might have as we head into the election season?
Of course.
It has been election season for a while, I think, but as we continue. So if a person moves, do they need to register to vote?
Yes, absolutely.
Re-register.
Yeah, you can register to vote online very quickly, by mail or in person. I recently moved not too long ago, and one of the first things that I did was get on the website and update that so that I could get any polling place.
You kind of forget that you really do need to, right? Especially with the redistricting and everything that has just finished.
Absolutely.
So if you change parties in Nebraska, do you need to re-register to vote?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one big thing with Nebraska is that we do have closed primaries.
Oh, okay. Explain closed and open primaries to me, and elections.
Yeah,
open
absolutely.
And closed.
So with closed primaries, they require a certain party affiliation in order to access a certain ballot. With open primaries, that is not the case, but in Nebraska, depending on which party you are registered under, that may determine which ballots you will have access to.
Okay, so it would be very important if you changed parties for whatever reason to re-register.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And you can also find, if you ever need more information on that, the Nebraska Secretary of State does provide sample ballots on their website for each political party. So you can look ahead of time and see which candidates exactly will be on the ballot.
Okay, and you can do that before you re-register.
Yes, absolutely. So you can make sure that you are making the best decision for yourself and voting for the candidates that you really want to vote for.
Excellent. Very good information. Fantastic. Okay, great. All right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you like most about working at Nebraska Civic Engagement Table?
I really think it's the community aspect of it. I just think it's so exciting. Our membership is so diverse, so wide-ranging. We have members statewide from like side to side of the state, and they serve just so many unique communities. So being able to just hear the stories and the work that people are doing, and then checking back in maybe like a month or two later, a year later, and seeing the impact of the work that they've been doing is so exciting.
Right. Well, fantastic. That's great. And if an organization or a person from an organization, a nonprofit organization, is out there and wanting to get more information about maybe joining NCET, what should they do?
Yeah, so they can visit our website, nebraskatable.org, and we have a members page there that will kind of give you a little bit more information about our membership.
Great.
We have a wonderful team of staff members that work to help these organizations get the resources that they need and help them apply for membership to see if we are the right fit for them.
Great, great. Did you mention the website? Yes?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, nebraskatable.org.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you plugged it one more time.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, I thank you so much, Guadalupe, for being here
you.
tonight. This has been so informative, so invigorating, and I think we're going to do, what is your prediction for the November election?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm hoping we can even, I saw estimates for Douglas County at least of hitting the 35% turnout for the primary. We weren't able to hit that this primary, but maybe for the general, I would love to be able to see us get maybe to that 35%. There is so much amazing work going on that I feel like our communities are really energized and ready to get out the vote.
Well, let's do it. Okay, thank you so much. And that's all for us today. We want to thank you for taking time to join us, and thank you especially Guadalupe Esquivel from the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table for being here today. For the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha, I'm Cindy Glissman, reminding you to inform yourself about issues and candidates and be ready at election time to go vote Omaha.